Hi, my name's Paul McEwen, and today we're going to talk about the SOF-Pac bag. First of all, I'll show you how to break it down and make it back up, and then we'll go on to how best to pack your chilled and hot meals in the bag to get the most out of your SOF-Pac bag. Okay, as you can see, I've broken down this bag flat. I'll just show you quickly how to put it back together again after you've cleaned it. As you can see, you've got Velcro on both sides. Pull it up like that. Make sure they're level. Push the Velcro together. Bring up the sides. Pull it nice and tight on both sides. And the other side. And basically just do exactly the same. If you make a mistake, just pull it apart and start again. There's nothing too difficult about it. Make sure that the sides, when you pull them around, are nice and tight. And there we have the bag all made up. Put the side down there, bring that around and just adjust the straps. Now firstly, when you want to open the bag, a lot of people try and grab there, because there's no handle there, they're trying to pull like this, and of course it becomes quite difficult, and this bit comes out and becomes like this. The easiest way to open up your bag, hands on both sides there, top finger pops open like that. Even when it's closed just like that, you've got a positive seal in the bag. It's not going to allow hot air or cold air out of your bag. Righto, now we'll get on to how we can pack your bags for you. Okay, here we go. Now, packing meals in your SOF-Pac bag. We'll start off assuming that the meals are hot. So you would first put a couple of meals on the bottom of your bag and then stack up as many as high as you want. The next thing to do is put in an insulated shelf. These shelves are insulated, same as your bag. They are your best friend in maintaining temperature within your bag. Once you've established how many you want on the bottom of your bag, which is going to be at the end of your run, you then put the shelf in and put it down. And what you're doing is effectively sealing off that section of your bag, and it becomes a compartment by itself. So it doesn't matter how many times you open and close the lid, those meals at the bottom there are going to stay as hot as possible for the length of the run. Because as we know, hot air rises, so if we didn't have shelves in there, didn't matter how many you've got in there, every time you open up this lid on the bag, hot air is going to rise. The ones at the bottom are going to become the coldest at the end of the run, where you really want the ones at the end of the run to stay the hottest. Okay, so from there we put a few more meals in. Again, depending on the type of run you're doing and where the meals are going out, you then can put another shelf in, and again you make another compartment there and then meals on top. This way, as you are going through your run, you get the meals off the top, you get to the next ones, you can then grab the meals from there. You can always put this shelf back on, because what you're doing is you're making the area within the bag only that of where the meals are. If you take that shelf out and leave it out, these meals on top are trying to heat up all this air within the bag, which is cold air. Because you've opened up, all the hot air has gone out, cold air has gone in, you close the lid, these meals here are now trying to heat up all this air. So if you want the meals to stay warmer for longer, put the shelf back in, and there you go. The hot, or the heat that's in the meals there is going to stay there. It's not trying to heat up anything else. It won't get absorbed into your shelf because the heat's being reflected by the silver. Okay, now we're going to do chilled meals. Same principle applies as with the hot. We put a couple of meals on the bottom, depending on how many you want to put on the bottom before you put a shelf in. Before we do that, we put a flexible ice blanket in there to keep them chilled. The flexible ice blankets, the size and shape they are is designed that way to get the best weight for ratio of chill that you can possibly get. Now the best way I can explain that to you is if you get a frozen soup out of the freezer, heat it up in the microwave, pull it out, the outside of the cup is going to be boiling hot and in the middle it's still going to be frozen. And that's a good example of weight for ratio. You're not getting the full efficiency of the full weight of that chill. You imagine that being an ice brick, put it in there, as cold doesn't radiate, just sitting there like that, all it's doing is keeping itself cold and possibly something underneath it is going to keep cold. Meals on that side there are going to be 5 to 10 degrees warmer over a period of length of time, because every time you open up the lid, hot air goes in. It's not going to say, well, we should go to the ice brick and get absorbed there. It's going to go to everything. So the idea of these being stretched out like that, you're getting the best weight for ratio of spread of chill within your bag. So you use a couple of these, whereas you might be only putting 1 or 2 ice bricks or gel bags into your esky. With these you can put 2, 3, 4 depending on how hot it is on the day. Okay, so what we do there, ice blanket goes in, shelf goes in, and again we're effectively sealing off that section of the bag. So it doesn't matter how many times you open and close or leave it open, those meals underneath that shelf are going to stay chilled, because hot air or warm temperature can't get into those meals there because they're effectively sealed off. From there we can start putting a few more in, another ice blanket, another shelf. 2 compartments within the bag and 1 on top there. But when you put those last couple of meals on top, which are the first ones going out, still use another ice blanket as a barrier between the hot air and your meals to stop the meals getting warm. When you grab a meal, pull it back, grab it out, put that back there, close the lid. Again, close the lid as quickly as possible so you're not allowing the temperature to change too much within the bag. Right, I'll just do a quick recap on the ice blankets and the shelves and how they're best to be used within your bag. The shelves, they're insulated, use them in your bag, they're your best friend for maintaining temperature within your bag, whether it be chilled or hot. The flexible ice blankets, if you're using chilled, nylon film, food grade water inside, so if they do burst or get punctured, it's only water going out onto your meals. So you don't have to panic about any gel or anything nasty going out in there. If they get a couple of them burst, I've seen other kitchens where they'll cut a few cells off and make them a bit smaller and still use them within the bag. If there is 1 crystal of ice in a cell, that whole area is still going to be 0. So a lot of comments that I get throughout Australia is, oh, the ice blankets don't last very long because they start to melt straight away. And that is the nature of what they're designed to do. They're designed to absorb the temperature so that the meals don't get warm. If you want an ice brick to stay frozen, that's great, but it's only keeping itself cold, it's not keeping anything else cold. If you want your meals to keep cold, you need to get the spread of chill over the whole bag. That's how they work. That's the way it works with chill. Hot seeks out cold. If you don't cover your meals, then the heat will get to your meal and warm it up. Obviously, closing the lid as soon as you open it and get a meal out and closing it is going to help an awful lot. One other thing that I like to bring up now that I see quite often throughout Australia is you'll get the meals picked up in the bag, the volunteer goes outside and then he'll stop at his car or outside on a table and he will actually take all the meals out of the bag, check they're in the right order, then put them back in. Now if they were hot, you're going to lose between 5 and 10 degrees straight away by doing that. You need to trust the people in the kitchen are packing it right for you. And the reverse happens exactly when they're chilled. If you pull out when they're chilled, the temperature is going to rise dramatically just for that short period of time. Please trust the people in the kitchen to pack it right for you, and you won't have issues with the meals being at the wrong temperature when they're being delivered. Thank you.